So I'd like to quote Dr. Colin Campbell, and Dr. Colin Campbell wrote the book, The China Study. And he was asked to go to the Philippines because children were dying from liver cancer between 8 and 10 years of age. Now, usually this liver cancer only happens in often an alcoholic in his 60s, 70s. So they went to investigate and they found the common denominator. You might like this and you might not like it. Now, it was peanut butter. No, my daughter Emma didn't ever like this because she always was a lover of peanut butter. But what they found is every single jar of peanut butter had a plant. It had a spegulus that in the malt waste that they found in the peanut butter was aflatoxin. And aflatoxin is the malt waste that causes liver cancer. Did you know that cancer is one of the leading causes of death worldwide, with nearly 10 million deaths in 2022 alone? In the U.S., approximately 9 million new cancer cases are diagnosed every year, and the numbers continue to rise. These statistics are alarming, but what if I told you that preventing cancer could be easier than you think? There are certain foods that fuel cancer growth and others that help your body fight it. But here's what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. There's a powerful leaf that has been shown to kill cancer cells, and yet most doctors will never mention it. So what should you avoid? What foods can help? And what is the secret leaf that could change everything? Stay tuned as we uncover the truth about cancer prevention, the best and worst foods, and the natural remedy that might just be the key to fighting cancer. Now, as we look at cancer, it's important to understand what cancer loves, because when we want to understand what cancer loves, we don't want to give it that. And I many books in my library at home, many by doctors, scientists, professors, naturopaths, herbalists, nutritionists that have conquered cancer. So my interest is, what have they done? What have they done to bring about healing? And I have found 4 common denominators. Cancer loves glucose. In fact, it consumes 15 times the glucose of any other cell. Cancer loves an environment where there is no oxygen, and cancer loves an acid environment. And so let's turn that over the other way. What does cancer hate? Cancer hates. That's what we want to give the body, an environment where cancer cannot thrive. So what does it hate? No, although glucose and cancer cannot live in the presence of oxygen. A lady said to me, Barbara, did you know that there's a group of scientists in the U.S. They're doing tests on cancer, and they're discovering that cancer cannot live in an oxygenated environment, and that cancer can't live where there's no oxygen. And low glucose, I said, well, I'm very glad that they're looking at that. But did you know that in 1946, Dr. Otto Warburg got a Nobel Prize for discovering that this is not you. And cancer hates an alkaline environment. So let's go over to the cell and have a look at the energy cycles in the cell. And I'm going to show you where the part in the cells consuming high glucose and no oxygen. Do you remember we looked at the glucose going in, and that goes through 20-step pathway, and that 20-step pathway gives us 2 units of energy. And this pathway is no oxygen. And this pathway is a fast pathway, consuming huge amounts of glucose. The end result is the chemical form of glucose called pyruvate. And pyruvate, as the chemical form of glucose, gets fed into what's called the powerhouse of the cell. It's the mitochondria, or the Krebs cycle, inside the mitochondria. It's an 8-step pathway. It uses oxygen and it gives 36 units of energy. Looking at that cell, can you see where cancer lives? And cancer thrives in this section of the cell where it's consuming high amounts of glucose and not using any oxygen. That glucose can come from anywhere, but doesn't every cell use glucose? Yes. But because this is a slow pathway, it can wait for the glucose from the carrot and the broccoli and from the lentils and the Dutch Hoffman in the book, the germ that causes cancer. Dr. Holland said, you deprive the cancer cells of glucose, they self-destruct because they depend on high amounts. And this is how chemotherapy works. So the cancer cell will consume 15 times the glucose of any other cell. The cancer cell will consume 15 times the chemotherapy of other cell. When a cancer cell takes in large amounts of glucose, it fuels rapid growth. This happens because the cell uses a process that does not rely on oxygen, making it much faster. Since it produces very little energy compared to normal cells, it must keep taking in more glucose to survive. This is why cancer cells seem to steal energy from the body, leaving a person feeling weak and tired. And when oxygen is present, normal cells use a different pathway. This pathway is much slower, but produces a lot more energy. This is why a body with high oxygen levels is not a good place for cancer to grow, right? Deep breathing, regular movement, and activities that increase oxygen in the blood can help create an environment where cancer struggles to survive. And acidic environment is also something cancer cells prefer. Many processed foods, sugary drinks, and unhealthy habits create high acidity in the body. This can weaken cells and make it easier for disease to spread. On the other hand, foods like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds help balance pH levels. Water with minerals and fresh vegetables can also help keep the body in a state where cancer finds it hard to grow. Cancer cells depend on sugar for survival, so reducing sugar intake is a step toward creating a body where they cannot thrive. Many foods turn into sugar after digestion, including processed grains, white flour, and sweet snacks. Choosing whole foods, fresh vegetables, and healthy fats can help limit the sugar supply to these cells. A stronger immune system is another key factor. The immune system is designed to find and destroy abnormal cells before they grow out of control. When the body is overloaded with toxins, stress, and poor nutrition, the immune system weakens. A healthy diet, regular sleep, and stress management help the body stay strong and defend itself against harmful cells. Exercise plays a role in maintaining a healthy environment as well. Movement increases oxygen levels and improves circulation, making it difficult for cancer to survive. Simple activities like walking, stretching, or deep breathing exercises can help improve overall health. An immigrant in China got cancer, and he wanted a study done of the whole of China. And that's what they found, that it was the city children that were dying. So, Colin Campbell did a whole lot of experiments on this. So he got 20 rats one day, and he injected them all with an effort toxin. That's 10 of the rats, he gave 20% animal protein. 10 of the rats, he gave 5% animal protein. On human comparison, 20% animal protein would be meat and dairy every meal. 20%, 5% animal protein would be a very small amount, maybe a little bit of yogurt, and another very small piece of meat once a day. So rats live 2 years, and their digestive tract is very similar to, so they can see what would happen to humans in 70 years, what happened to the rats in 2 years. At the end of 2 years, the rats on the 20% animal protein were all dead or dying of liver cancer, but the ones on 5% animal protein died. None of them had liver cancer yet. They had all been injected with a flow toxin. You see, we are exposed to environmental poisons, yes, but also yeast and fungus and moles. It's actually what it finds in the body. Is it going to get well fed or is it going to get stopped? But so it can't multiply in the body. So he did another experiment, 20% animal protein, 5% animal protein, vegetable protein, and injected all the rest with flow toxin. The ones on the 20% animal protein had no cancer. The ones with 5% animal protein, no cancer, but the ones with 20% animal protein, cancer. He made the statement that he has never in all his research seen something so black and white. He said he could literally switch cancer on and off by the end of meat, by the amount of meat and animal products he was giving to those rats. As a result, he stopped eating meat and animal products because of what he discovered. He said, I grew up on a farm. We ate meat every meal. We ate dairy every meal. But he said, what are so in the Philippines? He said, that just changed me. And all these friends said to him, you're taking all the fun out of life. He said, I'm in my 70s now, my late 70s. I tell you what, funny, half my friends are dead. The other half are struggling on, on walking sticks, rattling as they walk because they're on so many medication. And he said, yeah, I'm climbing mountains with my grandchildren. I tell you what, funny is feeling good all the time. I'm not just interested in long life. I'm interested in quality of life. Long life is no fun. If last 20 years of your life, you're in pain and you're miserable. And so Dr. Colin Campbell, he gave another aspect to cancer. I have another book in the library, and it's by Dr. Tullio Simoncini. He's an Italian oncologist who was getting 90% success rate with cancer because he was injecting via a port of cancer sodium bicarbonate straight into the cancer. What does sodium bicarbonate do to acid? It's the ultimate alkalizer. In fact, 10 years ago, he had a little clip on YouTube where he put the camera in and show the lung cancer sort of be like a white growth with a little scope. Then he'd inject the sodium bicarbonate and you could actually see the cancer shrinking up. You see the cancer cannot survive when it gets that wave of alkaline. Dr. Simoncini's work led him to believe that cancer thrives in an acidic environment. By injecting sodium bicarbonate directly into tumors, he aimed to neutralize the acidity that allowed them to grow. His results were remarkable. Many of his patients experienced significant tumor shrinkage, and some saw their cancer disappear entirely. This challenged the mainstream medical view that cancer is a genetic disease that develops randomly. Instead of seeing cancer as a result of faulty DNA, he believed it was linked fungal infections in the body's internal environment. His theory suggested that tumors form when the immune system fails to control fungal growth. If the environment inside the body encourages that growth, cancer develops. When conditions change, cancer loses its ability to spread. This idea aligns with what many researchers have found about diet and disease. The foods high in sugar, processed ingredients, and unhealthy fats create an acidic environment in the body. In contrast, a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds promotes alkalinity. Studies on plant-based diets show that people who eat mostly whole plant foods have lower rates of cancer, heart disease, and other chronic illnesses. Dr. Campbell's research also supports this. His experiments with rats showed that animal protein played a significant role in cancer development. When protein levels were reduced, cancer stopped progressing. When protein in taking increased, cancer grew aggressively. This pattern was consistent across multiple studies. He concluded that high consumption of animal products creates conditions where cancer can thrive. The same findings apply to humans. Populations that consume large amounts of meat and dairy tend to have higher cancer rates. In contrast, those who eat mostly plant-based diets, such as people in rural China and certain Mediterranean regions, experience far fewer cases of cancer. Their diets consist of fresh vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and minimal processed foods. Aside from diet, lifestyle factors play a major role. Exercise, sunlight, stress management, and sleep quality all impact the body's ability to fight disease. That people who move daily, spend time outdoors, and manage stress effectively tend to live longer, healthier lives. Their immune systems function better. Inflammation levels stay low, and their bodies remain in balance. We had another man, tender program, and he had prostate cancer. He was not really interested in being at our retreat. He was 57, but he did not like what the doctors were offering. He came with his wife, who was also in her mid-50s, and daughter who was about 30. And his wife and daughter were ultra cleaned. And as we consulted together, I always offer, I said, well, you have a choice. You can do the hyperbaric changes. You can do the wraps. In fact, if you choose, it's a little extra. You can have a hyperbaric every day. You can have a wrap every day. So I always give the person the choice. And the green drinks, and his wife and daughter said, you'll do what? He'll do it. So every green drink we gave him, he looked at it, and his wife and daughter, yes, he'll do it. So he had this cheer clamp behind it, which was constantly pushing him along. And he was right. And as he was going home, we told him how to, the no fruit for 6 weeks, and then the stage 1 for 2 months, stage 2 indefinitely. A star on the stage 2 until he get the all clear. And he said, right? Oh, and his wife was going to make the depositories. 3 months later, he emailed us and said, I've just had a test and I'm cancer free. Now he's interested. I thought it was an interesting case because I think it is important as part of your treatment to have faith in the body, to have faith in God and his ability to heal when we give the body the right conditions. And when someone comes to us with cancer, we say to them, we see 3 outcomes. Sometimes we see total turnaround. In fact, we've had people come and do our program that have said to us, I'm here because my friend came and now they can't confirm. We're going to hear even about that one. Sometimes we see turnaround. Sometimes we see 6 months go to 6 years. And sometimes we see the last days made more comfortable. Because sometimes when people come, it's in a very advanced stage. But we've had a few people come at that stage, and in a couple of months they have passed, and their wife or their husband or relative contact us and they say, thank you so much. They died with dignity. The simple, natural treatments brought them relief and allowed them to die peacefully. And that's why I said to this woman, I mentioned previously, she was on chemo for palliative care. I said, that's not palliative care. Palliative care is making the last days made more comfortable. So no matter what stage, as you can see, the natural treatments are always of benefit. Sometimes it's doing policies as well. One always has to look at the person. Sometimes they've had constipation for 20 years, going once a day to the toilet. And so that has to be addressed. Now let's look at some powerful leaves and plants that can help prevent cancer. by alkalizing the body at a cellular level. Keeping the body in an alkaline state is essential because cancer thrives in an avocado acidic environment, and an alkaline rich diet can help create conditions where cancer cells struggle to survive. One of the most effective plants for this is wheatgrass. It is packed with chlorophyll, which oxygenates the blood and helps remove toxins. Wheatgrass is highly alkaline and can restore pH balance while boosting the immune system. The best way to use it is by juicing fresh wheatgrass and drinking 1 to 2 ounces daily on an empty stomach. It can also be added to smoothies or taken in powdered form, but fresh juice provides the most benefits. Moringa leaves are another excellent choice, known as a superfood. Moringa is rich in antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and essential nutrients that support detoxification and cellular repair. Moringa helps neutralize acidity and provides a high concentration of chlorophyll, which aids in oxygenating the cells. And the leaves can be consumed fresh in salads, brewer's tea, or taken as a powder. Mixed into water or smoothies. Regular use can help the body stay alkaline and fight oxidative stress. The Susip leaves, also called graviola, are known for their anti-cancer properties. They contain compounds that target abnormal cell growth while leaving healthy cells intact. Susip leaves can be used to make tea by boiling them in water for about 15 minutes and drinking it daily. This tea helps cleanse the body, reduce inflammation, and support the immune system in maintaining a healthy alkaline environment. Incorporating these plants into a daily routine can be a natural way to help the body stay in balance, strengthen the immune system, and create conditions make it difficult for cancer to thrive. You know the truth. It's time to take control of your health. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more eye-opening content. And remember, small changes can make a big difference. Stay healthy, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.